Welcome back everyone. We're on the Giants editor today on the Jules Peaceful Valley map. This is a Farming Simulator 19 map and I'm Jewel. So as you can see, I have some roads that I've painted down and I have these that I've been installing these roads. I gotta fix that one, or I might change this road a little bit. I hadn't decided yet. But anyway, this is the one of the big long roads I'm going to work on. This and comes around here, goes way down, and then it goes all kind of different other ways. I think it's gonna go somehow up here maybe and then go that way. I'm not sure, but either way I'm trying to make the long road, but we'll see what happens. But hope everybody's been having a wonderful day. If you haven't checked out the channel before, I have a lot of different playlists. I have different tutorials on map making if you need to learn some things. If you check out the channel, up here is the terrain sculpt mode, paint mode, terrain detail paint mode, terrain info layer paint mode, and then of course you got the foliage paint mode. I've shown tutorials on how some of this works. Some of it you gotta wait for like animals and things, but pretty much there's several different types of tutorials. One to show how to do a blank map, but you need to do part 2 because I forgot to add something. I said it in the video but I didn't show it, and so I had to make a part 2 right after the part 1. I probably need to go back and combine them together or just make a whole new one. But make sure to watch part 2 if you want that blank map. The first one's leaving one part out. If you leave that part out, you'll have stuff growing. Like say this was a field and you did everything else in part 1 but you didn't do part 2, then whenever you come here, even though you did everything else, there's going to be stuff growing there, even though you erased it and moved it. You know, you did something else with it, you got rid of it, but it's still going to be there. At least the crop is. So you need to make sure you do part 2 on that video. But anyway, hopefully we can get this road going. I'm thinking about going ahead and taking a break from the road, just temporary, do some off screen. I've been doing this part off screen. I did all that off screen. I'm gonna probably do most of the road off screen, but I might go ahead and look at the other map and see about getting some power poles or see what else we want to do. So this is another sample mod map, and as you can see, the power poles is what I'm gonna be getting. So they're not that far from the road, but I might be putting in some ditches, so some of them's gonna be further away than this from the road. But also I'm going to be looking at some sidewalks. Let me see. Is that a sidewalk? Not exactly. Is it? Let me look over here. Let's see if there's any sidewalks. I don't know. I haven't really played this area enough to remember where anything is. Let me see. I'm just getting going on my FS19 one. I do videos of it. If you haven't checked that out, I'm getting going at it, and I do FS22 videos on it as well. Don't see any sidewalks, but on the other ones you used to have sidewalks, but I could get some if I want some on another map. But for now, let me look. So I'm thinking about getting the power poles. Let's see. So we're gonna go ahead and click on. I'm thinking I just want these bigger ones, but I don't know, because ours don't usually dip all the time that low. I like them to be more straight across. So I'm trying to decide how I want to work that, because I was thinking about making the power lines as well. Let's click on this one, and okay, so that one's this one, and go up. So that's the folder for all of them. Okay. Alrighty. So I might just take those for now. It's a pretty good bit of them, and I can duplicate duplicate them as well. So let's get it. We're going to go ahead and get it. But actually, what I was thinking, wonder what else is in this. I might take the whole thing. That's what I'm thinking. Is it going to be everything? Okay, so it's going to be all the lamps. Is it going to be that stuff too? I don't think so. Let me check it and see. I might take the whole placeholders folder. Okay, so it's not the placeholders, it's under the lights. Okay, so if I close that, okay, so if I take the whole lights folder. That's what I was looking for. Okay, so what's under the placeholders? Let me see. Okay. That's the main stuff. Okay, so we're going to take the whole lights folder. And then I can always, if I don't want the smaller ones, I can get rid of them or what have you. And then I'll already have the whole setup. Now, the reason it's best, in my opinion, to do it this way, now I'm no expert, but I just what from my own understanding, it's best to take the main one, the main transform group, because it has other information that a lot of times that was put into it. And I'll give you a quick example of why I say that. You see that reflection right there on that rock in the water? If you take that one rock and you click on it, and of course it's two pieces, but if you click on one of them and you export that from here, and then you import it into your map, and you stick it in the water, it's not going to have a reflection. But if you take the entire reflections, let me see. If you take this entire reflecting beach assets group, if you take the whole thing with all the things in it, you take it and put it, export it and import it, and then you put it in there, it's going to have the reflection. So there's more information needed, and it has that with this. Now, you probably could set it up separately, but I tried that, and I don't know if I'm missing one piece of information or what, but it would never let me do it on its own. But I am still going to work on it. I just hadn't had time to lately. So these trees will even reflect in the water. Now, obviously, these are too far back, but if I was to put them next to the water, they would. And these piers, they reflect in the water. Of course, you can't see it right here much. Well, you can a little bit. Alright, let's see. Well, you can't really see it the way I'm talking about, because it actually shows the everything. So if you could, but if I was in the actual game playing it, you would see it. But anyway, that's the reason you want to take the whole group. So that's my thinking on that, and I'm assuming that if I take the whole lights group, if there's some bit of information that I needed that maybe I didn't realize, it'll be there already because I took the whole group. So that's what I'm going to do, and that's my explanation for not just taking one pole and going at it from that. Alrighty, so now we're going to get back to it. Let me see. Let's go ahead. We're going to hit File, Export Selection with Files. Okay, now we got to go to the main folder, Documents, My Games, Farming Sim 19, Mods, Jules Peaceful Valley, because that's where I'm putting it. Okay, and I think I'm going to put it, don't think I'm going to add it any further than here. So I'm going to put it here. So I'm going to stop, not highlight nothing. Click here, and I'm going to type lights in this file name box. Then you hit save. It's asking, do you want the parent directory structure? In this instance, I'm saying yes. I mean, I'm sure there's other reasons. Other people might say no. My preferred method lately is yes, and then yes on the game relative paths. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll have it all ready to go. So now this is finished. I can click off of that, and now I can highlight my other map, jump into it, and we can, now obviously they're going to be scattered about because they're going to be in their location when I bring them in. But let me pull this up, close that up. Now we're going to come up here, File, Import, and we're going to look, and it already opened me to the folder I was in last, so that's a tip. So when you export, usually it'll open you back up where you were. then you can just go find lights. But if it don't, just go back through the whole list, go documents, my games, through the whole process. Farm sim, mods, the map name, maps. Then you'll get back to where you need to be. Click on lights. We're going to open. We're going to bring that in. We're going to leave that at 000 because that's what we want it to be at. That's the whole point. And as you can see, I got lights in different places there. So let me see what we got here. Did it take everything? Yep. So now we have all this. So street, let me see. Utility pole is the one. So we're going to open it. Click on the first one. And that's our very first utility pole. Now I gotta decide where in the world the first one's gonna be. It's not that it really matters, because it's all gonna be the same difference. I mean, it's gonna go somewhere. I haven't really finished the roads over here yet. Could start here. We'll start by the house, I guess. It doesn't matter. We could say it's gonna go up this road. Now, if I'm gonna put ditches, where am I gonna put them is the thing. So, in this case, I'm going to hit, it's highlighted, so you're gonna hit Control B, and then press where you want it. And then press again to finalize it. Now obviously I'm going to change directions probably. I'm probably going to move it back further. Now I'm going to come down and pretend I'm going to be driving on this road. Okay. So if I decided, do I want a ditch on this or not? We got a hill. What do we really need a ditch for? Do we need a ditch? Right there. Some of it needs ditches probably and some don't. So I'm trying to decide. I'm gonna say no, we don't need a ditch. So let's get closer down. Are we gonna put a sidewalk is another question. So we have to leave room is what my thinking is. So let's bring it down. Gotta at least touch the ground there. See how that goes. Let's go in where we can actually see. See how you can see that it went in the ground. Now it's in the ground. Okay, so now this one's gonna be facing that away as if we're putting power poles kinda angle weight. But I'm going to turn it this away, cause see the light, that's a street light. So what you need to do is turn it toward the street. This needs to go that way because the power line's going to go that way. Now I need to turn it where I can see the angle. If it's lined up properly with the street. Okay, it looks pretty close. So I think we're pretty good. So there's the first one. Alright, so now what you're going to do is you're going to pick this second one. And you hit Control B and then press where you want it. Then press again to finalize. Now I'm not sure how far apart I want these. So that's going to be another thing. So click on it. Really not sure on that one. So we're going to turn it. Gotta make sure it's highlighted. We're going to turn it like that. Now technically you don't need the transformer box or whatever it is on such close proximity, but the pole is the one I wanted it at the height that it would be at. I really don't like that up down the way that goes on those other poles. So now I gotta decide how I want that. Alright, bring it up, back down. Okay, so Another thing, you gotta check this distance. I think that's fair. Now, alright, so what we could do is get something to measure that. What I might do is I could grab one of those street pieces. Let me back up and see. Alright, look at number 14, go to the bottom. I'm going to duplicate this once, grab that, and the one that duplicated, I'm going to control B and bring it over here, but I got to delete that one before it's all said and done. But I'm going to use it as a measuring tool, such as this. Then I can decide if I'm pretty straightforward with everything. Alright, so now we're going to bring that more like such. Alright. So, bring that over. We'll say that it goes that far. Then we bring it down a hair just to show that we're on that line. Trying to mimic this line to some degree. As long as it's close, I ain't worried about it being perfect. Alright, so that's going along there. So we could say we bring it forward till we meet this. And then we'll have at least some idea of distance. Alright. Alrighty. Now that's angled to the road, so we should be good. Click back on this, drag it up. Excuse me. Now obviously it's going to change on the shape of the way the ground is, but what you're going to do is bring it over. You can adjust it, twist it around. Now you don't have to use this marker. You can eyeball it. You can, you don't have to use that. So don't panic. I'm just using it as a kind of just a general guide. It ain't gonna be 100%. Generally speaking, that's the distance. So now we know we need to move this one back. That's the point. So hopefully that will take care of what needs to be taken care of. So it's going to be off a hair, but alright, so we're going to bring this over up to that. Okay, now we're going to jump back on the next one. Now you can just have a look at your light. Now we're going to obviously have to adjust them as we go, but now we're going to take this one and drag it over. Now in order to find out the distance between these, we would have to check that as well. So I'd have to figure out, and what I'm thinking I'm gonna do, another way to measure, if you haven't seen before, is go to your brush, change it to square, and let me see what I got here. Go back up, come on. Let me think. Up here, click on Terrain Sculpt, or actually click on Terrain Paint, and then I'm trying to find something. Hang on. Okay, now let's see. The radius right here. You're going to stretch. See this paint square, the painter, or the icon that paints. You're gonna X out of it, get close enough that you can see when you're there. Gonna come down where you can get right up on it. Then you're gonna click on it. You're gonna make your square right up to it. So about right there. And so that looks pretty good, like that meets that line. So we're at 9.1 1 whatever. Well, if we want, we can take this and go to hopefully 10. And see, that's going to go a little bit. Let me click off of it, make sure it accepted it. It's a little bit further. So I'm liking 10, I'm thinking. And then we'll know, we'll put this here like that. And then if you take your, roll it back up. Now one or two things you can do. You can go ahead and hit the button and paint it. Click paint. Alright, we gotta click add. You gotta come to click add first. Hang on. Click add. And also you're gonna pick say mud dark. Whatever's different than what you got here. Alright, now you're gonna keep it over here. And you're gonna click it. Now you're gonna see this edge of this right here. And you're gonna know that's where you need to put your pole. Of course, I didn't quite put it over far enough. So what you're gonna do is, whatever distance that is, you're just gonna move it. You're gonna deduct it from that. So basically, you're gonna put this almost all the way over here, but except for that little bit of distance that it would have been that I messed up on. Yep, just like that. Then, once you get to here, click off of that. You should be able to just not worry about that because you can paint your grass again and you can keep going like that. But in that case, you're painting too much on your screen. So to me, it's better to use something to measure by. Or what you could do is keep moving. Let me show you another way. You can click on it, look at it, how far it's going to be, and eyeball it and say, okay, I'm thinking it's going to be about right there. And then you just put it there, then you test it to see if it was that far. So basically, then you turn it off, click on this, make sure you're on the full thing, the full one. Hit oh, you don't want to hit duplicate, you want to get this one, my bad. We're not duplicating because we have them in order here. Okay, so now we're going to hit Control B, bring it over here. And we know in this case that it was at the end of this because we saw it. But if we didn't have that there, we would have to figure it out. And obviously this one's going to go back further. So now we can take, since we put it there, click back on that. And we still have it on 10. And that gives us our distance. And you can put it over that. And then we kind of know we need to move it over just a hair. So as you can see, we need to move it over a hair. So we're going to click back on this and just move it over here, click back on this, and use it as a measuring tool. Just like that. Now we're there. So we got that distance. Now we just got to get this distance. So then you take this, come up to it, where you can see this part. Bring it over, bring it down. Just like so. Bring that up just to see. Tilt it a little. And bring it back. And push it over a little bit. And that's approximately where it was on all the rest of them. So you're going to take this and you're not going to move it this way or that way. You're going to bring it in to this piece. So you're going to click on this and bring it straight over. And then you can always double check with this to see if that's still okay, and it is. So that's a way of measuring if you haven't seen it before. And basically, but in this case we got to turn this power pole around. Click back on it, make sure the whole thing's highlighted, you're not just turning one thing, okay? And now you're going to turn it around, and in this case we can kind of put that right in the middle, the blue line kind of right in the middle of click back on it, right in the middle of that, and that'll tell us we're pretty straight in that case. So now we're going to click on another one and click Control B because it's already there. We're going to guesstimate where to put it. Then we're going to click on this, going to click measure to do the measurement. And we know we gotta move it over a good bit, so we're gonna click back off of here. Move it over a good bit. Click back on, measure it again. And we're gonna say we need to go some more. So we're gonna move it over here more. And there you go. You just keep doing that till you get your distance. There are other ways you can get measuring tools. You could actually use one of the poles if you wanted to use it, and use it as a measuring tool. There's lots of ways you can do it. Just do whatever suits you. Don't worry about. And obviously you don't have to worry about it being 100% exact distances and all that nonsense. You just do it the best you can, move along, get going. So we're trying to get some work done. Move this over. Come around so I can get it up in the air a little bit. Alright, so now I gotta move it into the road. Move it back a little. Tilt it a little. Back over. And then down. And that's an approximate area. And you're going to go ahead and do it this way. Line it up. Click on this. And bring it straight over to that. And you should be pretty close. And then you got to twist it around. And in this case, we don't want it in the middle because we don't have that white thing in the middle. So we're going to say that the middle is pretty much, or the line is going to need to be right here. So that gives us those, and as you can see, they look decent. And when we come in and we start doing our power lines, we're going to hook it one to here, one to here, and one to there. Then they're going to droop a little bit, maybe. We'll see. And that's if I add any. I may not. We may not add any. We may just pretend like, okay, well, they're underground or something. but anyway, that's a few of them. Not going to do the whole map yet. Obviously, this is just the beginnings of it. Now, the other ones you can use. These are the 250-12, it says. I'm not sure where the other little ones were. I'm sure they're somewhere down the line. If I look down the list here. I don't know where they are, but I'm sure they're somewhere. Unless they're in the actual group. Let me look. Are they in the group? No. I don't know. I'm sure they're somewhere. I may be overlooking them. That's interesting. Wall pole, lamp, street light pole. I don't know. But it's there, whichever one of them it is. I can't remember. But one of them poles, actually you can go to this other map if you want. Highlight it, click on it. Go down, roll down to the small one. Click on it and then it'll tell you what it is. Okay, so it's under pole trunk. Let me see. Okay, so it's under another section. So it's not even under the light section. So if I want these, I gotta go under Ravenport and go under utility poles US to get these. Okay, so them aren't even in there, which will be needed at some point, so I will worry about that later though. So I'm not worried about that right now. So that's how you would get those if you need them. And of course save the game every now and again. Of course I will have to delete this piece before it's all said and done, my measuring piece, because it's part of that road I was working on, and we don't want that. Of course I could take it out of the road and put it at the end of this. Let me put it at the end of this. Cut, and then put it at the end on its own. That way this will be separate and I don't have to delete it. Oh, where is it at? Why is it not highlighting? Oh, is that a problem? Oh, we have a problem. It didn't work right. Well, they didn't like that. let's undo that. We're not gonna have that. I don't know what that was about. I'd have to think about that one. It might be because I already had it in there. But anyway, you get the idea. We're gonna be moving along. And you're gonna want to keep these in order, like, from the start, because that helps. So we got a lot to maneuver. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is our fourth. We need to move to the fifth. And so on. And then we got like a whole list here. So then when we get to the end of it, we can start duplicating. And we can duplicate if we need to or whatever. But I'm probably not going to do all that on one episode, obviously. I mean, y'all get the point. I don't want to belabor the point. And like I say, you can fix this. If you did this, you can come in your paint stuff and you can clean that up. Obviously, you've probably seen that before. Come in here, put it on the grass, go on to paint, and just scroll down a little bit and paint back over it. And you're all set. You're back to where you need to be, and you can fix that road if you want, which it's not. It's just a guide. It's not like going to be there. All this is going to get erased too, actually. If you'll look, I can erase that right now. See? So that's not important on that part. Now if I want the gravel on the edge, which I might put some on the edges of the roads, because sometimes there's gravel there or dirt, so we will work on that as we go. But this is a very early stage of the map. So, but as you can see, we got this nice water area. We got these bridges. We got to clean up a little bit of this, looks like. So you could click on this terrain thing. We put it back on round usually. I usually do put subtract. Or you could put it on smooth, but usually you want it on something that's going to get it out of there. There you go. Don't hit it too hard. Make sure that your level is on low when you're taking away from where a road area is. Now that's popping through, but it's actually not there, so I'll just hit it once with subtract. See if that takes care of it. There we go. But as you can see, everything's coming along. Got a little speck here we got to clean up. I thought I cleaned it all up already, but apparently not. Apparently not. But we're going to get back to it. I guess what I'll do is do some of that off screen, and just we're going to come up here. Just tell y'all what we'll do. We're going to come up here, coming around. Obviously some of this is going to get took away, painted. It's going to be green grass or something, or whatever it's going to be. And then they're going to come along here. They're going to come around. Obviously up here we're not going to be able to have the power poles all the way over here because our fence distance. So what we may have to do is change it up somehow. I'm not sure, since we have our road that way. We technically could move the fence, but I'm not moving that fence. So what we might have to do, I wonder how close it is. I think it'll be alright. As long as it's just by the fence, we should be okay. We'll put it just in front of it and not worry about it too much. But that's things you have to consider when you're making things. I should have did that better. I should have made the road come over here. And I could still change it, but I really don't. I'm not too worried about it. But the power poles is definitely going to be kind of close here. We may have to work something out somewhere. Not sure. But it can all be worked out. But that's things you need to think about as you're moving along. Obviously, we're going to have power stuff we got to deal with the water. You're going to have wooded areas where you can have that strip of power poles that they have. So, and then we're going to have to bring the power to the houses. So there's lots of things coming. But anyway, I think I'm going to call that an episode. I just wanted to show you the basics of it right now. And I may do a little more on screen of laying more of these, but I might not. I am going to show some, but I might not do it all. That's what I'm trying to say. But I hope you enjoyed them. I'll catch you on the next one. Please hit the like button, subscribe, turn on your notification bell if you want to receive a notification every time I post a video. Goodbye, everybody.